Welcome, my name is Nicholas Simone, and this is the poem analysis assignment for LAI 678 Digital Media in Education. Before analyzing this poem, it is important for the reader to identify the speaker, notice any patterns, and decipher any vocabulary that might be unfamiliar. The author, Theodore Rothke, is a male, and we assume he is an adult male based on the sophistication of the language he uses and the fact that the poem is written in the past tense. There is a rhythmic pattern with every other line. Breath, death, dizzy, easy. Pans, countenance, that's a little stretch, but shelf, itself. Wrist, mist, knuckle, buckle. Head, bed, dirt, shirt. So this is something that might be an example of structure mirrors content that we can look at later. The diction throughout the poem helps to provide the reader with an understanding of the tone. And the choice of the word papa instead of father in the title is very important to consider. So now we go to the first stanza, and in the first line, Rothke's reference to whiskey on your breath leads the audience to an immediate conclusion that the father might be struggling with alcoholism. Following that up with making the boy dizzy and hanging on for death further supports this view that the father might be abusive. In the second stanza, the scene is established in a kitchen where pans are falling. Countenance refers to the mother's face. Is she upset because of abuse or the fact that her sacred kitchen is getting messy and pans are falling everywhere? In the third stanza, it appears that the father is using his battered hands and possibly a belt buckle against the child. But it could also be possible that they are playing, and because of the child's height, he is grazing against the belt buckle. And in the final stanza, the beating of time could refer to a physical assault, or it is a reference to the playful time father and son are having. Is he clinging to his shirt for security, or simply because he does not want the playful time to end? So that's my brief analysis and reaction to my Papa's Waltz, and I will continue with the assignment shortly. Watching the father dance with his daughter and then getting caught in a maze of wedding videos on YouTube compels us to reconsider the conclusions that were drawn after reading the poem. The video instantly elicits emotions of happiness, laughter, parental gratification, and for me, of course, my lamenting the fact that I'm incapable of performing the moves that he made. The girl is clearly excited by her father's presence, as he is by the sheer joy he is providing her with. Regardless of whether the father has not seen his daughter for an extended period of time, or if this is simply his daily interaction, it is evident that there is mutual admiration for each other. Had the video continued, and the father did not lose his wind, it is quite likely that the daughter could have extended this moment endlessly. Any father could appreciate the bond that was apparent in this video. The visual context of the text affords us with a clearer understanding of the tone and setting of the event. The constraints of having to decipher or speculate as to the tone are absent. The entertaining video of the father dancing with his daughter helps to remediate the poem in several ways. While many readers make the assumption that the poem was illustrative of an abusive situation, the visual text forces the reader to reconsider that first inclination. The use of the word papa instead of father is a more endearing term. Papa is affectionate, father is distant. Had Rothke been describing a violent situation, he would not have made that choice. It is likely that we are using a 21st century context to draw an instant negative reaction to the poem. However, the father is likely a man who works with his hands, leading to his battered knuckles. And the mother is simply upset because her kitchen, a place of refuge for many females during the early and mid-1900s, was being disrupted. The choice of the words romped and waltzed now seems to me to indicate that this actually might have been a happy memory. The video helps to remediate these conclusions by offering more evidence of a different possibility. The juxtaposition of these two texts remediates the audience's response by providing both written and visual components. In the technological age that we live in, the visual mode carries more weight. The juxtaposition of the two texts would lead most of us to assume that the poem was actually a man reminiscing of his fond childhood years. But this activity now makes me consider alternative context for the video. We all assumed that since this was uploaded on YouTube by the family, that it was an incredibly celebratory occasion. But without that media leading us in that direction, the video alone could be an example of a father returning from a long absence, or one who is about to embark on an extended trip away from his daughter. In this respect, the modes can leverage each other in both directions.